AI is gonna take our gerbs. Well, it might. Well, probably will. But let's get into that, shall we?
456 Studios.
So, I was reading a post on a social media site with different audiobook narrators, voiceover actors, whatever you want to call us, as a motorcycle decides to drive by. And they were talking about AI and how there's different sites that are okay with using AI for voice actors. And obviously, if you're a voice actor, that's a big no-no, right? If you're an actor, period, that's a big no-no in the traditional, sense. But to voice actors, it's a pretty scary thing, I think. And I think a lot of that scariness comes from one, not truly understanding what it is right now and what it can be. But I think the reality of the situation is it really is in some ways as bad as people think, but in other ways not as bad. And here's what I mean. AI right now is not at the point of being so good you can't tell the difference between a voice actor voicing a cartoon or narrating an audiobook or something like that without flaws. You can tell, right? There's that uncanny valley thing that we see in like CGI with human faces. And why is that? Well, because you see faces all day long, right? That's what you're doing when you're interacting with somebody, is you're staring at their eyeballs, you're looking at their face, right? Well, same thing with voices. We listen to voices all day long too. And we can tell when inflection is on or off or artificial. Our brains know maybe not what's wrong or what's off, but they know something's off, right? Right. So for right now, it's not there. We can tell. Like, there's recordings of like Joe Rogan, right? Where they can take all this audio data, right? Because he has a talk show and a podcast and they can plug in his voice and they can emulate his voice, but you can still tell if he does anything that's longer than like a couple sentences, or heck, even within a sentence, that's not really Joe Rogan, right? It's getting very good though. And video AI is getting really good too. I mean, we've all probably seen that video with Will Smith eating spaghetti, right? The first gen AI, and it's terrible, right? Have you seen the new one? It's pretty darn good. Right? We're getting there. It's still a little off in some ways, but it's getting there. And it is only a matter of time until AI gets really good, and it's going to be really hard to tell the difference. And it will take some jobs in the beginning, right? I think eventually we will see AI take some narration jobs. Kind of. And probably very few of them, but it will take some. And the type of jobs I'm talking about, or at least that I can, foresee maybe in the next 5 years here, I want to say, because AI is, it is building fast, right? And it's going to continue to build and get better and better and better. And my day job, if you don't know, is working with IT and cybersecurity and really technical things, right? That's my primary job right now. And I hope to get into voice narration as my primary job, but we're getting there. So I understand AI. I mess around with it pretty much every day. And I have a firm grasp of what it can do and some pretty good insight into what I think it's going to be able to do here based upon examples and how these neural networks are kind of evolving. And what they're being used for and what people want to use them for. So back to what jobs is it going to replace, to finish that thought. It's going to replace those type of jobs that are kind of robotic to begin with. And I'm talking about like the recordings for, like voice menus for phone prompts and, voicemail type things, right? Those are kind of those have kind of always been a little robotic, to be honest, right? Are we going to be missing much with those? Probably not. It's not a huge portion of the market anyways. But what I don't think it's going to replace, it'll replace a couple, I think, at least initially, when people think it's so good they can actually just narrate their book with an AI voice and get away with it. They won't be able to. Here's why. Let's take, for example, music software, because I dabble in music as well. And let's take VST instruments, virtual instruments, right? Let's take the best libraries you can get. And let's take somebody that's super experienced and expert in writing music and have them write that piece of music on their software on their computer. And to the layperson, man, that sounds like an orchestra. I can't really tell the difference, right? But you can. Have that same piece of music be played by an orchestra, and you'll immediately be able to tell the difference between the two, right? Why is that? You as the layperson, you're not an expert in writing music or how that's actually played or anything like that. But you can tell the difference. And why? Because the human artistry aspect comes into it. And that's the difference. And that's the thing that I don't think a computer program, an AI neural network, is ever going to be able to replicate 100% accurately, because it's not human. And that's what separates us, our artistic ability as humans to be creative and to have that element of humanness in what we do is what separates us, right? You could have an AI program that can do the best inflections in the world, but it's never going to do it like I do. Even using my own voice as an example, I'm going to make different decisions based upon the moment and how I feel as a human, as an artist, to express my ideas and the text that's on the page in whatever form that may be, right? And AI will never be able to capture that human element because it's not human. At first, we're going to see an influx of people trying to do it, and it's going to flood the market and kind of desaturate it for the rest of us, and it's going to be slim pickings here in the next 5-10 years, right? Maybe even sooner, who knows? But it will bounce back and it will return, because people will find out that there's that quality that they're missing, and there's going to be the listener of the audiobook that's not going to appreciate it either. It may be passing, but it's just not the same. And you want me as the consumer to pay the same price for an AI thing versus something that was done by a human that's way better? No, right? This is outside of all the protesting and stuff like that the, name the lettered organization, SAG, whatever, that's going to come after these, different entities. They're allowing that on their platforms, if it's ever really allowed on major platforms, which there's another argument for another day, right? A whole nother topic. I don't think we're going to be seeing that, or at least I don't think it's going to be in the best interest of major platforms to be doing that, But I guess time will tell. There's never 100% certainties in life. Who knows? But I do see it being a major problem to begin with, and then it will kind of reside as the marketplace and the consumers figure out the quality difference and what that quality difference really is. So, yeah, AI is going to take our gerbs, but I don't think it's going to take all of them, right? Well, that's been my brain dump as I've been thinking about this and reading different things. Do you have an opinion? Do you have anything you think or can add to the conversation, or heck, even just a question for me or to add? Leave it down below in the comments. Or hey, maybe you want to check out some tutorials or how to do some things as a voice actor, or you're interested in the journey, or whatever the case may be. Check out my channel. Check out some of the videos that you're going to see up there. I'd really appreciate it. And hey, and give me a like and a subscribe if you wouldn't mind. That would help out a lot, and I'd super appreciate it. You got to ask for those things or you won't get them, right? All right, well, if you need to go record something, then let's get to it. Huh?